Hi, my name is Tom Shepperd. I'm the York County Supervisor for District 5. District 5 is basically the area in Tab that's around the Running Man neighborhood. I've been on the Board of Supervisors for 15 years and I'm now going into my 16th year. Prior to joining the Board of Supervisors, I served in the United States Air Force. I joined in 1971. I served principally as a fighter pilot flying A-10 aircraft and numerous other aircraft. I did serve on the Joint Staff for a period of time and then came down here to Langley where I worked on the Langley staff, and I retired in 1998. After retiring, I decided that what I would do is continue with my military experience and take it into the contracting world, where I served as a defense contractor for approximately 11 years. During that time, I also served on the York County Wetlands Board, York County Planning Commission, and the York County Stormwater Committee, which we no longer have. And then I was elected to office in a special election in 2001, and I've been on the Board of Supervisors ever since. My wife and I, in traveling all over the world, we grew up in Florida, but we didn't particularly want to go back to Florida, so we were trying to find a place that we really enjoyed living in. And Virginia is such a beautiful place that we moved down from the DC area where I'd served my time in the Pentagon, and we came down to Langley. It just fell in love with York County. It's such a beautiful, beautiful place. So it was a great place to raise our family. Judy and I have been married for 45 years now, and we've had my son graduated from Tab High School, and both my son and daughter have went on to Virginia Tech, where they had a very successful career. We've just been very, very blessed with living here as a family within York County. It's a very family-oriented place to live. It's just wonderful neighbors, and you just can't beat it. I've also had the honor of representing York County on the significant regional boards, such as the Hampton Roads Planning District Commission, which deals with the 17 municipalities of Hampton Roads, 1.7 million people, and which we look at things such as the sewer systems, emergency response systems, evacuations. The big one for us is the Chesapeake Bay cleanup. So I've been able to work with that, and that's been great. I have also served on the Hampton Roads Transportation Planning Organization, and what that organization has done is taken the 17 municipalities, got together, and what we did is we prioritized the major projects on the peninsula and the south sides and all of Hampton Roads. For example, the widening of I-64. And then I've served in the Hampton Roads Military and Federal Facility Alliance, which is an organization designed to include both the government and business communities and leaders in those areas. And what we do is we seek to protect the military infrastructure that we have in the Hampton Roads. It's really important for us that you have, like Hampton, in the Hampton area, you have the Langley Air Force Base, you have NASA. Those are predominantly right up against our county. And then you have a Naval Weapons Station, the Coast Guard Station, the National Park Service, you have Fort Eustis. But those are some of the big military bases around that we have to protect, because a lot of the citizens live here and there's a lot of expenditure of our revenue, or their revenue, in the area, so it's important to our economy. And one of the things I saw when I came to Virginia, which was just a wonderful and beautiful place, and as I had traveled around the world, not only as a child being from a military family, but as an adult, I was looking for a place where I really wanted to call it home, and I wanted to be very involved in the community. So what better way to be involved and sink your roots into the community than to get into the government, where you're able to provide help and service to the citizens of York County. And what I saw principally in government was that people were being surprised by things that like development around their homes and what was going on in the community, and they did not understand, or nor were they getting the information that would help them understand what was going on. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to, in government, I wanted to help people solve problems within their community, and I wanted to make sure that they understood what was happening around them. So I've gone to great lengths to improve communications between the local government and the constituents I serve, not only within District 5, but all of York County. So principally, what drove me to really want to be in the local government was the ability to help the residents of that community feel that they were really being served by their government. In the 90s, York County had a growth rate that really got out of control. It was running about 5%. And so what was happening, you were getting a lot of pressure on the government to try to keep up with the services that the population would bring in. So when I was elected, I will say the previous governments had worked very hard to get the 5% growth rate under control, and they did that principally through zoning. And what I wanted to do is, when I came in, was to maintain that, kind of limit the growth, so we were and put it in more balanced, in a balanced way. For example, we needed to be able to control the growth in population so that we could manage our schools, manage infrastructure requirements, roads, sewer systems, and things like that. So what has changed dramatically over the time has been that we've seen a tremendous pressure build up around us to have more development, and we've yet been able to control it to a great length through the type of zoning we've had. One of the things that we do have today is our growth rate is very manageable. It's down to 0.3%. Okay, that's a very manageable rate. But then when you have a slow growth rate, the pressure on the people that live in it to maintain great schools and roads and all the services is that the cost starts going up. Early when I came in, our tax rate was about 90 cents. Today our tax rate sits about 75 cents. Yet our home values, and what this shows you how much our home values have gone up, because we're able still to continue to generate enough revenue to provide great schools, great law enforcement, public safety, fire and life safety, for example, and the quality of life in our community. What's going to happen to us is that there will continue to be a strong demand to live in York County, principally driven by our school system. I just can't tell you how many people I've talked to from outside the area. When they move in here, they obviously have children, and what they're looking for, if they have children, what they're looking for is where are the best schools. And it pops up all the time that they want to come and live in York County because our reputation for education is just outstanding. Well, that drive as a challenge creates a lot of demand for housing, the transportation, all the infrastructure issues that are associated with it. So we're going to be facing in the future the expenditures that are needed with growth. Community, particularly York County, will need to continue to grow. If you don't grow, the community basically dies, or it gets very, very expensive to live in an area. So we're going to be facing the demands for education. We're going to be facing demands for economic development. Our county, 40% of our county right now is wooded, and it's protected federal land or is protected through some environmental issues. For example, the waterworks owns well over 1,000 acres in York County that cannot be developed. So we have 60% of the county where we have to figure out what we're going to do with it. Land-wise, most of it, we're an urban community. We're not rural, we're an urban community. We have a very densely populated area. For example, down in my district with 5.5 square miles, we have a population density of 2,100 people per square miles. And there is actually a piece of York County that has one of the most densely populated areas in the state, over 7,100 people per square mile. particularly around the Yorkshire Downs area. But if you go up to the northern part of the county, the population density is only 32 people per square mile. Overall, the density is about 625 people per square mile. So we're going to look in there and try to figure out how we can best develop the county, provide the ability for landowners to maximize the benefits that they have, but we have got to support this through economic development. And that's going to be one of our biggest challenges. Where in here can we have businesses that can coexist with the residential areas that we have? And there will be a greater demand in the coming years on development in your county than we've ever seen, I think, in the past. And one other part, in facing these challenges, what we try to do is ensure a responsive, not only a responsive government, but one that understands this responsibility of expenditures. So we don't just have a pie in the sky approach to going getting tax dollars and just spending it on anything. What we're looking at is we spend our money wisely to get the most bang for our buck. And York County has a great reputation for doing that. We're the lowest cost of government in the whole area, and yet our education system, our public safety, and our quality of life is one of the highest in the nation. One of the highest in the nation. So that's very, very important, and these are the challenges we continue to face to maintain those high standards. I appreciate the opportunity to be able to talk to the citizens of York County and for them to get to know me a little better. Quite often, the only time that they get to see the supervisors, it will be on television on Channel 46 during a board meeting, and occasionally they'll see a picture of us either in the newspapers, but to understand that we are members of the community, that we have a great sense of community, and we want to be able to do a tremendous service to the citizens of York County is very, very important. And the opportunity to understand that over time we have worked very, very hard to make our community what it is today. And I'm very proud of the service that the members of the Board of Supervisors over the years have really provided to our citizens. So if people have questions and they want to talk to me, there's all different kind of ways: email, phone calls. They can always get in touch with me. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to introduce myself to the citizens of York County.